Hi all, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Hello if you're new, I'm Jana. I'm an astrologer, Akashic Records reader, and tarot reader, and I post collective readings on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok, so you could go follow me there too if you're interested. I post like shorter videos on TikTok and Instagram every week for specific zodiac signs and just like short channeled messages, and I'm at Feeling Loudly on both platforms. I also offer live readings, so if you're interested, live and recorded readings. So if you're interested, you can click on my link tree, which is in the description box, to find everything you need. Okay, so today we're going to jump into a collective reading. I'm not sure about the topic yet, so I'm going to roll my astro dice, and then we'll pull tarot, and we'll go from there. So we have the South Node, the 10th house, and Libra coming up. So interestingly, the South Node is actually in Libra currently. And so this is on point. Maybe some of you actually have Libra on your 10th house cusp, or maybe just Libra in your 10th house, but not on the cusp. Maybe Libra midheaven, maybe South Node in the 10th, or maybe this is a nodal return for you and you actually have your natal South Node in Libra. What I feel like more likely though is that it's just highlighting the fact that a lot of us are going through changes around both family of origin, because we don't often think about the 10th house as like a family of origin house. We think more about its opposite house, the 4th, which is our foundations, often our childhood, our lineage, our ancestors, and our family. But in traditional astrology, the 10th house is also associated with mom. And so for some of us, there may be mom stuff coming up, or with sort of the focus of the 10th house being on career and legacy and reputation, it could be kind of a combination of that, highlighting this axis in our charts where we think about kind of the relationships that formed us, that helped us to become who we are, kind of, you know, helped us for better or worse, depending on what your experience growing up was, and the way that those experiences kind of feed into the way that we engage with the world and the way that we show up with the world, the way that we present ourselves, and how our family of origin informs that in a really big way. And so I feel like for some of us that is in focus, whereas for others of us it's more of a general focus on career, on purpose, trying to understand what do I want to leave behind in this world? No big deal. So if that sounds like stuff that's kind of in your mind, and I'll also toss in that love and relationships, and right as I was saying that, the Lovers popped out, and I dropped a card, so let me grab that really quick. Okay, so love and relationships also feels like it's very up. I say that because Libra is a really relational sign that's focused on partnership, often of different kinds, not necessarily just romantic, but also business partnerships, also collaborations, friendships, often fall kind of under the domain of Libra, or the priorities that Libra sets. And so now we have the Lovers coming up, which is a Gemini card. And the Lovers is a card that's about choice. It's, yes, can be about partnership and about love, but it's also about making choices. And as I'm mentioning priorities with Libra, it feels like we're collectively in this spot where we're having to make a lot of choices, probably about the topics that I've already mentioned. We also have the Page of Swords in reverse, and then the Ace of Pentacles. This is the one that dropped, and so I'm not sure if it was upright or if it was reversed before it fell. But after it fell, it turned upside down, and I picked it up in the reverse position. So the feeling I'm getting is that for some of us, romance and love could actually be distracting us from sort of a grander priority right now. And with the Page of Swords in reverse, sometimes to me that means distraction. Sometimes it means we are kind of getting caught up, maybe stalking people online, maybe checking out a crush, maybe looking at your ex, maybe like just kind of getting swept up in being really online, it feels like, but also it's just kind of chatty. It's like a chatty energy, but an energy that's kind of in its shadow a little bit. And so you might be falling into some sort of shadowy material around that stuff, having a hard time focusing, having a hard time kind of staying eye on the prize and keeping your priorities straight. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse tells me that there might be an opportunity that you could miss if you don't pay attention and if you don't kind of stay on track. And so this is a call to return your focus to the sort of bigger priorities in front of you. And I had the Seven of Cups pop into my hand right after I said that. Because we might be getting kind of daydreamy. We might be getting swept up in fantasy, and not that that's a bad thing. I mean, I'm a Pisces Venus, Pisces Mars person. I deeply appreciate fantasy and imagination and the role that it plays in us constructing our reality. We create from our fantasy, we create from our imagination. And so ditching your imagination or your fantasies is not it. Like, our fantasies keep us alive. And I think that, like, it's just about finding a balance right now. It's about returning to earth, coming back down, feet on the ground, trying to kind of like stay rooted in the practical concerns that you really have to be thoughtful about right now. Not getting so swept up that you kind of lose track of yourself and maybe miss out on an opportunity that could be in front of you. So let's get a little bit more information. Six of Swords in reverse. I think some of you are moving, and I think some of you are traveling. I think some of you are more like metaphorically moving, like you might be moving away from a tough period in your life. And I think that there's this sense that like right when you're about to kind of have this breakthrough or to have a new beginning or a new start, sometimes these old patterns flow back into our lives and distract us because we might be a little bit scared of what that means. What does it mean to be happy? What would it mean if I moved on to a different chapter of life where I was more stable, fulfilled, peaceful, happy, cared for? What would that mean? Would I lose my identity as it's connected to struggle, as it's connected to even self-victimization in some cases? And I think that like when we're about to embark on a new journey and we can see that there's so much beauty potentially ahead of us, or just potential period, there's so much that could happen. It's easy to kind of fall back and to return to previous patterns because those are cozy, those are familiar, and it can be comfortable to be unhappy. And that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately because I'm a person who's struggled with that throughout my life. Like, I was depressed for pretty much my whole childhood growing up, and I didn't really know another way. And so in moments when I've had the opportunity to reach toward a new beginning that was really happy, sometimes I pull myself back down. I drag myself back down because I'm like, no, you're not ready for that, or no, you don't deserve that, or no, that's not safe, because what if it's taken away? And so I want you to really think about the voice that comes in for you. It might be so fast and so subconscious that it's not like something you're conscious of, right? It's inherently subconscious. But we have the Nine of Cups coming up in reverse, which does tell me that there is this belief that you may hold internally that you don't deserve to be happy and you don't deserve to be well. And so that needs a little bit of attention. That needs your space, because this card, Lucifer, is unique to this deck. And in reverse here, it's also telling me that there's some type of like belief that you acting on behalf of your desires is selfish, and not in like a cute way or like a positive way, but more of like in a self-centered way, I guess I'm trying to say. And so I think that belief that you like kind of taking the bull by its horns and living a life that you want to live is selfish or wrong or like narcissistic or whatever the voice tells you it is, that needs your focus. I'm dropping cards left and right, but they seem important because we now have these Six of Wands coming up, which is a card about victory. And this came out kind of like this. And so I think that there is this feeling of like, You being afraid that you're going to slip into patterns of maybe like egoic behavior if you do experience the type of success that you truly want for yourself. It's like you almost aren't believing or trusting your ability to carry the type of success that you can see in your future. And you might be fearful that you're going to become like a prick if you like start, you know, making more money or experiencing more stability at home or like feeling more well. Like there's this belief that you have that people inherently become assholes when they start living a more useful life. And I think that needs to go too. So there are all of these beliefs here, right? Let me just recap. We have that belief about kind of like success basically throwing you into your shadow. We have this fear about moving forward and leaving behind past struggle, leaving behind past pain, maybe because we've sort of like over-identified with it. And there's a fear about us losing ourselves or losing the beauty that we might experience if we are happy and we do experience joy. It's like, oh no, now I have something to lose. And then there's also this like deservingness piece of I don't deserve this, or it would be selfish, it would be arrogant, it would be like bad for me to find the success that maybe my conscious mind has set an intention for, but that my spirit and my sort of internalized beliefs around success are kind of holding me back from reaching. So let's get a final word of advice here because I'm going to keep it short. Page of Wands in reverse. So interesting. The thing that came to mind is that I feel like you're getting caught up in the idea that you have to create your entire reality yourself, or that you do create your entire reality yourself. For some of you, yeah, because now we have the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. That's a huge burden. It's a huge, heavy burden. And it's you maybe not trusting in your guides and your spirit team to help bring in what's meant for you. It's you thinking that you have to kind of carry the world on your shoulders. I mean, look at this figure again. They are carrying a lot of sticks and it looks pretty heavy. It's a Saturn card, Saturn and Sag. And so there's this like really intense belief that everything is up to you. Maybe you're getting caught up in the idea that like every negative thought you have or self-defeating thought is manifesting terrible outcomes for you. And it's just another way of you sort of halting your own progress, because then you can't even have a thought without you fearing that it's going to break everything down. So I want to share that, like, while our mindset is hugely important, I mean, I just talked about all of these beliefs and all of that stuff is important to kind of, you know, sift through. It's also important to recognize that we're not in this alone, that we have guides, we have ancestors, we have 3D living humans, and, you know, practical resources that we can fall back on in this life in order to aid us in moving toward our dreams and living our dreams. And I think that you need to remember that right now and kind of set aside these fears that you have that you are going to have to do it all on your own indefinitely forever. It's just not the case. It's not the case. Lilith coming up as our final card here, right as I saw 1313, which is the number of the goddess. And I think that Lilith, actually, if you're not familiar with Lilith, you may want to go look into the mythology of Lilith. This is a symbol often of feminine liberation, a symbol of freeing yourself from the constraints of patriarchy, from the constraints of oppression, and essentially being willing to follow, again, your own desires, even if it makes some people mad at you, even if it makes some people judge you, even if it makes you lose people in the process because they can't hang with you through that transformation. Because whatever is on its way, I think, is going to really challenge you to open up to your power, open up to your personal power in really big ways. And Lilith is here to support you. You got Lilith and Lucifer. Those are the two bonus cards in this deck, Lilith and Lucifer. And I think that this energy right now is really calling, and you can even call on Lilith for support. If you work with deities, you might want to consider working with Lilith. She is a freer. She's a liberator. She is a figure who, you know, stands up for those of us who want to reclaim our personal power and live a life of self-empowerment. So it's here for you. The opportunity is here for you, and I hope you seize it. Okay? That's all I got. I'll be back probably later this week with another collective message, and yeah, go find me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you're interested in booking a personal reading, you can find the link in the description box. If this was valuable, please do like, comment, subscribe, share. It all makes a really, really big difference as I'm building my channel out, and I deeply appreciate it. All right, take care, y'all. Bye.